On this day, I was out. I just finished working on the grass area, and I was actually watering the infield when the fire alarm went off. The fire alarm went off, and I was an SRO before. I spent several years at Coral Springs High School before I became promoted, and it's a routine thing. So the fire alarm goes off. I'm still doing what I'm doing out on the field, and I see kids starting to walk out into the senior parking lot, which is directly north of the 12 building. They're just walking out normally. I hear what I now know to be 5 or 6 gunshots. At first, I honestly thought they were fireworks. I thought the kids were screwing around. I thought maybe someone lit off some fireworks in the school, set off the fire alarm. That's what I was thinking. The kids were really not reacting in the parking lot. They were just walking. Looked like they were messing around type of stuff, typical high school thing when kids get out for a fire alarm. And then all of a sudden, the situation changed, obviously. Kids started to run. Kids started to scream. That time I heard a round of probably about another 5 or 6 shots. Obviously, I dropped the hose that I was using to water the infield and ran towards the parking lot, which is where the kids were. Immediately when I ran into the parking lot, I encountered a young student. I have permission from his mother to give his name. His name is Kyle. I'm not going to give you his last name. But Kyle had a massive gunshot wound to his, I can't remember which leg, ankle area, lower ankle area, I think. I was able to grab him and take him back to where I previously was, which is the baseball area, which they have a clubhouse, in which there was one of our coaches and a parent that was actually in the clubhouse. We have a first aid kit in the clubhouse, so I was able to go ahead and bandage that, do a compression bandage the best that I could with what we had, and then we handed him off, and immediately fire department was outside the door of the clubhouse. Immediately handed it off to them, and they took control of Kyle. I actually just found out who Kyle was, matter of fact, yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. I'm going to try and go see him this evening. I have not yet seen him, but I have been in contact with his mom. He's still in the hospital. He's in intensive care. Just had another surgery yesterday or the day before to help repair his leg. So after that, I met up when I gave Kyle off to the paramedics. Captain McKeon was outside of the locker room where we were. He's also one of our SWAT guys. So he had an extra vest and his backup weapon with him because he was using his rifle. So I took his SWAT vest and I put it on. I was wearing a pair of shorts and a T-shirt. Put it on and then got his gun, his secondary weapon, and we systematically cleared back towards the 12 building because, unfortunately, I have a knowledge of that school pretty well of where it was. Plus, I did leave out something else. I'm sorry. When we were inside the building, or inside the locker room, Kyle gave me a tremendous description of what was going on, what the shooter was wearing, all that type of stuff of what actually was going on in the building, what building he was in, and I was able to relay that to our dispatch. I can't tell you whether people have asked me in the past whether I called 911 or I called our non-emergency number. To be honest with you, I think I called 344-1800, which is our non-emergency number. It's just a habit. So, and then after that, I called. After that, I called my wife. Thank you. And luckily, I was able to get a hold of her. And by the grace of God, my wife and my son, who are on opposite ends of the school, my son was out on a bathroom pass, and my wife was in planning inside the girls' locker room. And they both heard the fire alarm and decided to evacuate. by the grace of God, when they walked down the hallway, they found each other. And they were able to shelter in place. I'm sorry, guys. I'm good. With three other teachers, two other teachers, I'm sorry, and 62 other students. And so once I found that information out, it made me obviously a little more relieved, and I could focus on the task at hand. We responded back to the building, to the 12 building. When I got back to the 12 building, there were officers already inside the 12 building, searching and clearing the building. So myself and Officer McKeon and a BSO deputy who I don't know continued to cover and run perimeter on that building while they were inside of that building, searching the building, until we were able to determine that the shooter had left the building.